Hello everyone and welcome back to Top Secret Tutorials. My name is Stephen and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can make a nice, clean and simple lower third in Adobe After Effects. You start me up like no one has ever could. You fuel my fire. Well, all the odds we end up loving it. Hello boys and girls and welcome back to Top Secret Tutorials. My name is Stephen and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a nice, clean and simple lower third in Adobe After Effects. But before we start with the video, just a quick reminder, boys and girls, if you have any questions about this or any other video on the channel, head over to our Facebook page. A link for that will be found in the description below. And you can also ask any questions on our Discord server. Again, the link for that will also be in the description below. And as I always say, Top Secret Tutorials is linked to Top Secret T-shirts. A link for that can be found in the description below, so you can head on in, browse and see what you like. And hopefully buy something. And if you do like this video, if you found it informative, educational, or slightly entertaining, hopefully you didn't find it entertaining. Hopefully you did find it entertaining, but not too entertaining. This is not a comedy channel. This is a tutorial challenge. Yeah, if you did like it, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and then tick that bell. With all that done, let's move on to the video. So, as you can see, this is the lower third that we're working with. This is the lower third that we are going to design today. Now, this is mostly done on After Effects. Of course, there are a few things that you can do. You can completely change it up. You can make any lower third that you want. I'm just showing you how to make a YouTube one, and then you can go ahead and use the same tactics that I used with this one to make your own one, okay? So, making this is actually rather easy. You've got the YouTube logo there, you've got the YouTube name there, and you've got the link in the description. That can be changed for anything else. You can put your username in there, you can put the link in there, it's up to you. You can do what you want. I've made it simple and put link in the description. But again, you can change it up however you like. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to save this pretty quick. So when you first open up After Effects, this is what it will show you. And to begin, you want to start a new composition or create a new composition. So you can do that by either pressing on this new composition button here, or you can go Control N. And you want to name it whatever you want. We're going to name it Test Lower Third. And the dimensions that you want are width 1920 and height 200. Make sure the frame rate is 60 and make sure its duration 15 seconds. We're not actually going to use all that, but it gives me a bit of leeway when it comes to animating so I can animate effectively. The background color can be whatever you want. We're going to keep it black, and then you press OK. Then it will bring you to this. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in the assets, and then we will start animating. Okay, so I've brought in the assets, and we are now ready to put them in to the composition and start animating. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make this a black background so I can see the white lines that I'm about to bring in. So line bottom and then line top. Now at the moment you can't see them. What we're going to do is we're going to click on one, press Control and click on the other one. And then we're going to press Control Alt F. And what that does is it fits them PNGs to the width and height of the composition. So as you can see, you can now see the white lines. If you don't know what I'm talking about, what you do is you click on one, you right click, you go up to transform, and you go down to fit to comp. So it fits the entire PNG or the entire image to the composition size, so 1920 by 200. Because this is originally 1920 by 300. But I found that that size was too high for any videos, so I made it a bit smaller. So 1920 by 200 is definitely an optimal size for any lower thirds that you want to make. So once you've done that, what you then want to do is you want to bring in the logo. So this time I'm using a lower third logo, but of course you can do whatever you want. So again, we're going to right click it. We're going to go up to transform, and we're going to go down and fit to comp height. Okay, and that fits to the height. Okay, so it makes it the same height, which means you can then animate effectively. Okay, like that. So once you've got that, you then want to bring in the text. So you want to click on the T icon up here, the horizontal tool, type tool, and you want to click and you want to type in YouTube. And then you go back into the selection tool by pressing V. Now, if I take off the transparent background, you'll find that the word YouTube has a stroke to it, as you can see. All right, we're going to keep that stroke, but for now we're going to keep the black background on, and there's a reason for that, and I will show you why the stroke is there soon. So we're going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to make that the same sort of height. We're going to put that same level as the YouTube logo, well, roughly. You've got to eyeball this, unfortunately. I'm going to leave that about there-ish. Okay, and now we're going to copy that. We're going to duplicate that by pressing Ctrl-Z to copy it, and then Ctrl-V to paste it. And you bring that down. And you type link in the description. And you want to take it down a little bit. And again, you want that to be the same level as that, preferably. So you want to take that down a little bit. You want that to be the same place as that one. It's got to make it look slightly the same. Just keep doing some stuff. You just alter it until you get exactly where I want it to be, like that. That's what I want it to be. What I'm going to do is we're going to take that down a little bit more. Okay, like that. So that's the basic layout of the lower third that we're creating today. That's the basic layout done. What we're going to do now is we're going to highlight the logo, the YouTube name itself, and the link in the description, and we're going to move it slightly. I need that to be in the center. Again, you've got to eyeball this, so it's all about just making it into the center as you possibly can. All right, you got to make it look slightly good. You really have got to eyeball it. You can take as long as you want doing this, by the way. If you're the kind of person that likes to make this thing absolutely perfect, nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Make it perfect. But for the purpose of the YouTube video, I'm going to leave it there. So once you've done that, you can now turn off the transparent background, and we're going to add a shape. So you're going to go up here to the rectangle tool, or just press Q, and we're going to make that into a shape. Now again, we're going to fit that to the comp size. So again, you can do that by either hovering over the shape layer, right clicking, going up to transform, and then down to fit to comp. Or you can just hover over the layer, make sure it's highlighted, press Ctrl Alt F, and that highlights it. Now this is the background, so we're going to rename this. So to rename something, you click on it, you press enter, and then call it whatever you want. So I'm going to call this background. And we're going to take that down to the bottom. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change the opacity of it. Now to do that, you right click, you click on this little arrow here, and it brings down this little content. What you then want to do is you want to click on the rectangle, go down to transform, go down to opacity, and take this to about 60%. 60% is good. I found that 60% is rather good. And keep that as it is. Now we can start animating. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the lines first. So with the lines, the bottom one first. And you're going to click and drag that completely off just until you see the line there. Just until that. And you're going to do for the top line. We're going to click it and we're going to drag it all the way off. Just until you see the line. Like that. Now, once you've done that, we can start animating this in. So we're going to start from the bottom. We're going to go transform. We're going to click this little stopwatch to create a keyframe for the bottom line. We're going to go forward to 1 second. Sometimes you've got to input it separately. And then instead of dragging it across like you could do, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to a line. And we're going to go up to a line horizontally. I'm going to click that. And as you can see, it brings it right in for you. This is the lazy man's animating this is. That's what I think it is anyway. So we're going to go back to the absolute dead end. absolute start of the composition, we're going to click on line top, go down to transform. Again, we're going to click on the stopwatch to create a keyframe for the bottom, for the top line. And we're going to go forward to 1 second. And again, we're going to go up to a line and we're going to click align horizontally. And it brings it in. So you've got all that now. So now you've got the lines coming in. At the moment, it's a little bit slow and it almost seems a little bit robotic. You don't want that. So you want to highlight them both. You want to right click on them. Go to Keyframe Assistant. Go up to Easy Ease. And then what you do is you click on this little graph here. If you hover over it, it says Graph Editor. You want to make sure you're on the speed graph. So you click on this little eyeball here. This little thing here. And you go up and you make sure the Edit Speed Graph is ticked. If it's not, you won't see this. But make sure it's ticked so you can see this. We're then going to hover over these two bits here. And we're going to take that in slightly. And then take that in slightly. As you can see now, it speeds up. It's almost natural. So it slows down and then speeds up. But I don't want that. What I want to do is I want to take that all the way down. And I want to take that all the way up. So it comes in really fast and then slows down during the end. Like that. I think it slows down a little bit too... Do like that. That's better. Take that up a little bit as well. Like that. That's perfect, that is. Like that one there. So what you want to do now is you want to take out the bottom line. Do the same thing. You highlight them. You right click on them. Go to Keyframe Assistant. And go up to Easy Ease. And now what you do is you highlight that one to the bottom line. You click Shift. You press and hold Shift. And you highlight them ones. And then you go onto the Graph Editor. And now what you can do is you can now edit them ones. Alright. So what you want to do from there is you want to do this one. Go up to the keyframe and you want to make sure this one is slightly like that one. Like that. Seems about right. If you can't eyeball this, you can sort of copy and paste it. And so it's that you got the line top and the line bottom is the same one, but you can just rename it. But that one is a little bit more complex because it means you've got two of the same pictures and sometimes you've got to completely reverse it. So I would strongly advise this way, but if you do want to risk it, go ahead, put them both at the same. You can just flip it and then possibly reverse it. So that is that done. So now we're going to go up to about 45 milliseconds. Milliseconds? Is that what you call it? Is it a second and a half? Is it one second and 30 milliseconds? 0.45 seconds. Let's keep it at that. Go up to 0.45 seconds. You then want to do the background. Now the background needs to be completely gone. So again, you take it all the way off, just until you can't, just until you can see the line, like that. You're then going to click the keyframe for a position. You're going to go forward to 1 second, and you're going to press align horizontally, like that. Like that. So now if we play this back, right, for some reason the background doesn't move. Alright. You gotta link that you gotta look that all the way over that way. So you gotta link that all the way over there. Alright, now you may find that don't work. Alright. Sometimes you don't need to do it by hand like that. And if you play it back, it should look like something like that. Alright, now this is looking pretty good so far. So once you're there, you want to go up to 1.5 seconds, roughly. Like that. And now you can start animating the logo in. So again, you need to animate the logo out first. So you find the YouTube logo. I'm going to rename that so I don't get confused. Like that. It's a very good practice to rename as you go. Otherwise you might get confused. But I'm generally good in that sort of situation. So you click on the YouTube logo. You come down to transform. And you come down to position. And you just sort of take that out. Again, just until you can see the line. Like that. Then you click the keyframe here to add a keyframe for the logo. You come forward to 2 seconds. And you just bring it in. Like that. Like that. Now again, it does look almost robotic. One speed. I don't want that. So again, you highlight them. You right click, keyframe assistant, and go to easy ease. Like that. And then again, you go to the graph editor. And you highlight both of them. And you bring that one slightly in. So it goes in and then it slows down. That looks really nice right now. And it's really sort of smooth. I like smooth. Now it's time for the YouTube name itself and the link in the description. Right now, I'm going to sort of click this eyeball to get rid of that for now. I'm not going to delete it. I'm just making it transparent so I can't see it. And we're going to focus on the word YouTube. All right, this word here. What we're going to do is we're going to click on the text, go over to animate, go up to position, click on range selector, and then you can do this. All right. So we're going to click a keyframe here for start. We're going to go over. Oh, a minute. Well, that's not right, is it? Needs to be at 2 minutes, really. 2 seconds. And then you can just go over to 2.5 seconds. Sometimes you make slight mistakes. Even someone like me that's been using After Effects just over 2 years, you still make mistakes, and you can't stop that. But it's always nice to try and not make mistakes. But you're always going to make mistakes. Don't worry about it. If you make a mistake, go back over it and redo it. It's all good. So once you put a keyframe for that, and you've gone over to 2.5 seconds, you then put that to 100%. Now, as you can see at the moment, nothing's happening. All right. So we're going to go back to where it says 0. We're going to go to the position, and we're going to make that down. As far as you want, not too far though. About there is good. And now, if we play, you'll see that the text comes up one letter by letter, as you can see. All right. We're getting there. And now again, we need to highlight both of these. Right click, go to keyframe assistant, and go to easy use. And then we go to the graph editor. We highlight both of them, and we make this slightly different. Like that. Make it look exactly how you want it to look. Like that. That's how I want it to look. But again, you can mess around with this. You can make it look exactly as you want it to look. So now you've done that. It should look something like this. Now, of course, we still need to do the link in the description. So we're going to do that now. So again, you're going to go down. You're going to click on the link in the description. Go down to text. Go over to animate. Go over to position. Click on range selector. We are then going to click a keyframe. So we're going to go over to 30 seconds, 2.5 seconds, where the YouTube word stops coming in. We're going to click here to create a keyframe. We're going to go over to 3 seconds exactly. And then we're going to put that all the way up to 100, like that. Now again, it doesn't do anything, okay? So you want to enter the position, and you want to take that slightly down to about there-ish. And that should happen. And again, you highlight them, you right-click, go to Keyframe Assistant, and go up to Easy Ease. And then go to Graph Editor, and make them look slightly different, like that. Now I'm just doing this very quick for the YouTube video, but feel free to take your time and make it look exactly as you want it. So now you've done that, it should look something like this. Okay, you're almost there. Now we need to add some detail to it. Now we're going to make the YouTube sort of word 3D, but not make it 3D, if you know what I mean. In After Effects, you have the ability to make things 3D. And I mean 3D. But I don't want to use the 3D function. I want to make it look 3D, but not use the 3D function. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to click on YouTube. We're going to go up to Effects and Presets. And we're going to type in Shadow. We're going to come down to Drop Shadow. And we're going to place that on the YouTube. And you can see it up here. In the Effects control, what you're going to do, the distance is going to be, I think, 15. The direction is going to be 180. And we're going to make sure the opacity is 100%. All right, so as you can see now, it's slightly 3D. All right, but we need to make that a lot more, what's the word? 3D-ish. And we can do that by going to Dimensions, Glow plus Shadow. We can drag that onto the YouTube word. We can make that black. We can then make that 15. And make that 180. So as you can see, it makes it look 3D. All right, which is nice. We can now zoom in, and you can see the link in the description almost sort of goes over it. So you want to take that down slightly. All right, like that. And we want to do the exact same thing to the link in the description. So again, drop shadow. We drop it over that one, and we add that to 1, 0 for that one, I think. Make that 100, and then 180. And then we go to Dimensions, Glow plus Shadow, and put it over it. Make sure it's black. Make sure it's 10, and make sure it's 180. And that is what you should get. Now at the moment, as you can see, it goes over the white line, so we don't want that. So we're going to take that below that, and we're also going to take the YouTube logo below that, and the YouTube name below that. What we can then do, the YouTube name and the link in the description, we can then move up. Move it across, stuff like this. And now you've got something that looks rather nice. All right, now we're going to do the same with the YouTube logo, because that looks slightly out of place right now. So again, we're going to click on the YouTube logo. We're going to go over to Drop Shadow. We're then going to go to make that exactly 100. Make it sort of 20 or 30. Make it 180. We're then going to go over to Dimensions, Glow plus Shadow. Add that to the YouTube logo. We're going to make that cancel. That's been made black, so we're going to make that down to 20. Make it 180. And there you go. You've got a nice looking 3D logo as well. And now the starting logo, the lower third is almost done. We now need to animate it out, and we now need to figure out how long it's going to be on there for. So this is what it should look like. So I think 7 seconds is enough. So we're going to 6 seconds. And again, you can make this as long as you want. There is no set rule for this. It's all about experimenting with what you like. So we're going to make everything sort of fade out. So we can use that by adjusting the opacity of everything. So I'm going to do the line top first. We're going to press a stopwatch here to create a keyframe for the opacity. And we're going to come over to 7. And we're going to make it 0. We're then going to go over to that one. I think what we could do actually is go over to 630. Yeah, 630. If you want to move a keyframe, you press and hold Shift, and it locks on to where your pointer is. All right, it makes it easier for you to actually adjust things. So we're going to make it sort of fade out over 30 milliseconds, over half a second. We then go to line bottom. We create a keyframe for the opacity. We then go over to 30 seconds exactly, and we then make it 0. And we're going to do that for every single one. Okay. Again, we are going to go to the transform on the YouTube text. We are going to create a keyframe at exactly 6 seconds for the opacity. We're then going to go forward to 6.5 seconds, and we're going to take the opacity on the YouTube text down to 0. And we're going to do the same on the YouTube logo. We're going to create a keyframe for the YouTube logo at 6 seconds for the opacity. We're going to go over to 6.5 seconds, and we're going to take the opacity on the YouTube logo all the way down to 0. Again, for the link in the description, you want to go to transform on the link in the description text. We want to go over to 6 seconds, click a keyframe for the opacity, go over to 6.5 seconds, and take the opacity on the link in the description text all the way down to 0. And then you've got the background. So again, now you're going to make sure that you go to opacity for that one. Make sure that one is what it says it is, so it's 0. What? No. So on the background, you go to context, and you go down to, you go to rectangle, and then you press transform, and then you create a keyframe for the opacity, and make that 0. And then you go over to 6.5 seconds, and you make that 0. So yeah, that was wrong, innit? That was wrong. You go to 6 seconds, sorry. I got confused then. Sorry. You go to 6 seconds. You go to 6 seconds, you create a keyframe for the opacity. You then go forward to 6.5 seconds, and you make that 0. So now everything fades out over 30 seconds. So now if we play that back, it should look something like this. And that's the lower third done. Now to end the composition that you've made, what you do is you find where it stops, so 6.5 seconds. Then you press N on the keyboard, and you'll hover over the little area here. You right click, and you go down to trim comp in work area. And that trims off, and that takes off any excess space that you've got, and creates a full lower third composition that should look like this. Now again, I did this very quick for the YouTube video. I know it's a very long YouTube video, but bear with me. Now we've got to render it. So to render this with a transparent background, what you want to do is you want to press Control M to transfer it to the render queue. You then click on this text here to save it wherever you want to. So once you've found out where you want to, once you've saved it where you want it to be saved, you then go to Output Module, you click on Lossless, and then you press the format to QuickTime. Now I know this is an Apple format, but bear with me. QuickTime is the best format to render in for a transparent background, and it's perfect for video editing softwares like DaVinci Resolve, HitFilm Express, and it can also be converted into a WebM file really easily with the transparent file. Okay, so QuickTime. That's it. Nothing else. QuickTime. And then for the channels, you go to RGB plus alpha. That's very important. If you do not press RGB plus alpha, you will not get the transparent background. Make sure it is RGB plus alpha. Once you've done that, you then press OK. And then you press render. And there you go. You have a fully fledged, fully done, fully completed lower third for anything that you want to use it on, whether it's your YouTube videos, your Twitch streams, your YouTube streams, your Facebook streams, or your Facebook videos. Whatever you want to use it on, it is ready for you to use and put on any videos. So guys, there it is. It's all done. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it informative, educational, or even entertaining, make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and then tick that bell. And I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Bye-bye.